Welcome crypto fam to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Let's get it. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as Bitcoin and all the major alts are currently pumping back in the green. And check this out. MicroStrategy bags an additional 14,620 Bitcoins ahead of the potential ETF approval. And quoting Max Kaiser, source, MicroStrategy is prepping a $5 billion mixed debt and equity shelf offering. Another 100,000 Bitcoin buy. What do you think? Also in today's show, we'll be discussing the latest with spot Bitcoin ETF could result in millions of unbacked BTC, according to this analyst. We'll also be sharing ARK Investors Cathie Wood sees short-term effect of the spot Bitcoin ETF as sell on the news. We'll also be discussing the 5 reasons why the spot Bitcoin ETF approval will send the Bitcoin price action north of $100,000 per coin. And we'll also be discussing the latest from analyst Willy Woo. He shared 3 Bitcoin price prediction scenarios, including one reaching $11.5 million per coin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. And welcome everyone just joining us. Trying to get this little hair out of my mouth. Yeah, today is going to be a lit episode. Let me know who is here in the live chat with us now, and let me know if the stream is smooth, clear, and loud. I greatly appreciate that. Welcome, Elda. Good to see you. Sign Tracker, Dirty Bird, Digital Dankness. Yeah, it was kind of hilarious because I was trying to do my intro and my mouse wasn't moving, and you get like a Nipsey hair in the sensor, and I'm like, oh no, but I just blew it out. I think that did the trick. Kind of funny, right? Welcome, Statwise Jenks. Welcome, Fantasy123. Welcome, Barack. Monsfils Evangelista. Shout out to the entire fam, Digital Dankness, our moderators, Coin Father. Good to see you guys. Lax Guy, what it do? Jeff Rhodes in the building. Mohammed in the building. Joe, welcome family. You're also going to notice there's a live poll right now asking when are we going to break 50 G's for the King Crypto? Let me know your thoughts. Loud and clear. Love to hear that. Chatsworth, California in the building. Shout out to Earl Harris. Shout out to Raven. Shout out to Rachel. Good to see you guys. Josh Decker in the building. Crypto Mama. Welcome. Smooth and clear. Love it. Loud and clear. Thank you, Josh. Frito, smooth, clear, and loud from the Florida Panhandle. Shout out to all my Floridians out there. Don't blow it, JV, right? Yeah, loud and clear. Thank you, Jersey Bean. Good to see you, fam. Shout out to Crypto Dell. Shout out to George. Shout out Juan Romero. Thomas from Virginia. Let's rock, Crypto Gang. Bring it. Ron H, what it do? Mick Lovin, how you been, brother? How was everyone's Christmas holiday as well? Let me know. It's smooth and clear and loud. Love it, Joe. Good stuff. 50 G's in April, says Mohammed. Let me know if you guys agree with that. Rich Hatch just put Happy New Year. Thanks for the amazing content, JV. My brother, you're very welcome. So thank you, fam, for all your support. Stress Free says, hey, top. Reception, great. Good news. JB, welcome from Southwest Florida. Good to see you, family. Sounding perfect. Love it. MM, 15 BTC. Finally a crab. Congratulations to my crabs out there holding 15 BTC. That's a monumental feat. Michael Saylor's going ham right now with his buys. Just purchased over $600 million worth of Bitcoin. Good Lord. He now owns, I say his company, 0.9% of the overall Bitcoin supply. And if you add his personal hodlings of Bitcoin, it's probably well over 1%. You can only imagine. And he's not stopping anytime soon. So game theory in full effect. Let me know if you're enjoying the pump. We're currently trading above 43,100. Bitcoin's up over $1,000 on the day. All the alts are pumping. The market cap is pumping. It's like 1.69 trillion, and we just getting started. Go crabs, go! Right, Melda? You gotta love it. So shout out to all my Bitcoin long-term hodlers in the chat right now. And don't forget, this is a live and interactive show, so please do interact. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I always appreciate it. Rich Hatch, thanks for that donation once again, family. Greatly appreciate it. Bitcoin Puppy, says Andy. Right on. Scott says ETF rate cuts in halving 2024. Looking good. That's right. 100%. We're looking bullish as all heck right now. Hey fam, back for more is back for more. Love it. There's only one reason I haven't purchased $600 million worth of BTC, says Jeff Rhodes. Can anyone know the reason why that is? I think we'd all want to buy it if we could, right? If we were sitting on that dry powder right now, I don't think there'd be any question about it. And he took advantage of the dip. So kudos to Michael Saylor, sticking to his word and continuing to buy regardless, really, of the price action. What up, Central Wisconsin in the building? Shout out to Joe Folin. Appreciate ya. I love the crab market. Time to accumulate, says McLovin. Chicago, Illinois in the building. Shaw City. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you. Crypto Surge, I'll be honest, why he has to hop up all the Bitcoin should chill out about us. Yeah, you wish. Hello from Quebec, Canada. Canada in the building, hey? Never got crab, thank God, says Unmatrix. Right on. Welcome, Makaya. Welcome, Ziggs. If he could have 600 million, he would not be chatting here right now. Probably not. But you never know. Love the pump today, Ontario, Canada. That's what's up, Dale. Congratulations, Henrique. Thanks for subbing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod here 7 days a week. Sailor's planning another 5 billion Bitcoin purchase. That's the word on the street. We're going to be covering that story here today. Max Keiser tweeted that a little earlier. That's the source coming direct from MicroStrategy himself. So probably Michael Saylor told him that, I would imagine, unless Saylor maybe have even posted it on his X. I'm not sure. Working in the Horn of Africa. Shout out to the Horn of Africa. I appreciate you tuning in. What up, JV? Says Debo. What it do? Do you prefer Puerto Rico over anywhere else you have lived? Yeah, there's a reason I'm here, and I decided to be here, of course. There's some great tax incentives, first and foremost. Also, it's a beautiful Caribbean country. It's a part of the United States. It's a territory, so you don't need a citizenship or anything like that. So there's a lot of advantages on why I choose to live in Puerto Rico. But first and foremost, I think it's a beautiful place to be. So you got to check it out. Travel here and scope it out for yourself. Andy, I 5x my Coinbase Visa rewards rolled into Bitcoin. That's what's up, Andy. Well done, family. GigaChat is the boss. Amen, Scott. Worry about someone with so much Bitcoin, says Folsom. They're not worried about you, so I wouldn't be worried about them. I am curious as well on Puerto Rico, the cost of good and everyday items. Overall, it's a little more expensive here. Like grocery stores are a little more. I went food shopping the other day and my cart was like $300 and it looked like I had nothing in the cart. I sent a picture to my mom. I'm like, I can't believe this just cost me $300. But nonetheless, that's inflation. I think that's a global phenomena right now. Electricity is very expensive here. But a lot of the other things are comparable. It all depends upon what you're comparing it to, as there's very expensive cities here in Puerto Rico with very expensive real estate, same as in the United States. And then you have the more affordable places like in the city, etc. So it's a mixed bag, all depending upon what you're seeking. Nuck Chorus, welcome family. How you been, Nuck? Good to see you, brother. Should we worry? No, you shouldn't worry. Worrying doesn't solve any problems in the world, I'll tell you that much. We will see 30 to 35,000 Bitcoin. I doubt it. I mean, you could be hopeful, Ziggs, but I don't see that happening. What do you guys think? You know what I mean? Thank you, sir. Looking to relocate. Right on, Debo. Feel free to reach out to me. Anything I can assist you with your move down here, let me know. About Saylor having so much. Yeah, don't be concerned about Saylor having too much. Y'all don't have solar. I don't yet. I'm looking to install some solar panels. Virtually everyone in my community has them already. I'm slacking, so I got to get on that. Live from Portugal, let's go for the nice pumps. Right on. Costco, precisely where I shop. I have a Costco like 1 mile away from me. So it's very convenient. You only need avocado toast anyways. You know me too well, Scott. Why do you know me so well? That's interesting. Sign Tracker, thanks for subbing to the podcast. Nice pump, 44,000 this week. Send it. Yeah, I think we revisit 44. Hopefully we can capture 45, which is the local high. I think 44,750 is the 20-month high. Once we break past 45, flip that resistance to support. To me, the next logical major target will be 50,000, and I feel we can conquer that. Potentially before the end of this year. We shall soon see. We still got a few days left. If not, then I am anticipating first half of January, because we do have ETF approval rollout on a basket of ETFs, which is going to be lit. And only now about 3.5 months until the Bitcoin halving in 2024. So we have an abundance and plethora of bullish catalysts in the market right now. More money, more problems. Bring them on. Yeah, that's an old Diddy Biggie and Mace track. I remember that one. Pump watch. Let's go. Yeah, we could do a pump watch. We got to get back above 44, then we'll do the pump watch. Barack Monfils just gifted a member the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. So congratulations, Folsom Hodl. You have just been blessed. Please thank Barack for blessing you and hooking it up. Let's go. Don't care about the price. I'm still hodling. Love to hear that, Jennifer. That's right, because one Bitcoin will always be equivalent to one Bitcoin, the same as it was a decade ago, and the same it will be a decade from now. That's the reality of it. You know what I mean? In bed with COVID. Oh, no. Stock up on some vitamin D3 because you can't get any sun or vitamin D3 from the bed, and get a lot of rest and a lot of vitamin C. That should help you tremendously. You know what I mean? Hopefully you're feeling better there, and I appreciate you tuning into the stream regardless. But anyways, fam, let's kick this baby off. If you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Also, be sure to smash the like and hit the bell icon to turn on all notifications. It also helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, and I greatly appreciate that. Today is podcast episode number 1504. I'm your host, JV, and today is December 27th, 2023. So let's kick it off with our market watch. As we do each and every day, I'm pulling up Coin 360. You should be able to see this here on your screen. You can see all the major cryptos pumping back in the green. Bitcoin on the cusp of recapturing 43.3, up over 2.2% on the day. Ether killing it, up 6%, trading above $2,350. We got Cardano up 7%. We got BNB up almost 6%. And then we have some of the cryptos like Optimism up almost 30%. So it's been a wild ride. And getting a monthly perspective on the overall market, you can see Bitcoin is now up over 15% on the month, Ether 14%, BNB 35%, and Solana 89%, AVAX 103%, Cardano 64%. XRP gains are very modest. In fact, the most modest out of the top cryptos, only up 3% on the month. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap is back on the rise at 1.69 trillion with about 73 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance back on the decline at 50% even, with the Ether dominance back on the rise at 16.7%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we got Satoshi Vision, believe it or not, leading the pack today, up 41%. Must have been some big news. Let me know what's going on with SV there. Optimism also up 29%. Astar up almost 25%. Below that, we have Arbitrum, Synthetics, and Immutable. And I am curious, during this Bitcoin bull run, which altcoins are you most bullish on for this run up? Let me know, fam. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective on the daily, you can see virtually all the major cryptos pumping in the green and pretty impressive gains. We got Optimism up over 29%, XEC up almost 10%, Tau up over 22%, Synthetics up 13%, Satoshi Vision 40%, ASTR 25%, just massive overall gainers. And if we zoom out on the monthly, good Lord, talk about alt season. Sats is up 531%, Bonk up 300%, Ordi up 250%, Corjai up 231%, Beam up 111%, HNT 161%, SEI 108%, BitTorrent 154%, Osmo 163%, Near 133%, Stacks 134%, Solana 94%. So you have an abundance of these alts up literally over 100%. Pretty impressive. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 73 still in greed. Yesterday, 71. Last week, 74. And last month, a 66 in greed. So there you have it. How do you feel we'll likely finish out this year of 2023 in this month of December? Let me know in that live chat, and let's read some more of the comments before we dive into our live Q&A. If the miners sold only on exchanges, the price would have skyrocketed already, and they'd be selling 100,000 coins right now. Idiots, it says Unmatrix. Welcome, Alan Haley. I appreciate you. I'm right here with you. Not sure if it is the real foo or flu or knockoff, but I'm feeling it. Yeah, man, just get that immune system strong. That's the key when you're not feeling so well. If you can keep your immune system strong, you're also very less likely to ever get sick. So something JV takes every day, liquid vitamin D3, 5,000 IUs, right under the tongue. I don't get sick because of that. I've been taking vitamin D3 for the past 15 years, so I rarely ever get sick. I also take my other vitamins, vitamin C and all the good stuff that we need to keep the immune system strong, natural, and healthy. Not sure where you're all at, but in places like London, COVID active infections are about 1 in every 29 people. I'm not in London, but about half the people calling me on the phone have coughs. Good Lord. Stay safe and buy Bitcoin. There you have it, Novum. Maybe Bitcoin is also the antidote to COVID as it is the antidote to the CBDCs. Just saying. They can deny, but would be good opportunity to get more sats before the real bull run. Amen, because again, we have potential ETF approval of 13 ETFs from the top asset managers in the world, less than 2 weeks out. Bitcoin having 3.5 to 4 months out. So there couldn't be more bullish catalysts. You got people like Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy. You got sovereign nations. You got sovereign wealth funds. Everyone looking to accumulate right now. So front run those mofos the best you can. You know what I mean? And avoid those JABSs. 110%. Thank you, Dan. What's up, fam? Hope y'all had a great Xmas. You as well, Emilio Gonzalez. I appreciate your family. Same says JB D3. Good stuff. And vitamin C daily. I've never had the flu and I'm 68. Love to hear that, JB. And of course, sunlight helps a lot. If you can get outside, walk the dog, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Natural sunlight. And don't wear sunscreen. Sunscreen causes cancer, believe it or not, unless you have an all-natural brand. They want to convince you that the sun is bad for you and will cause you cancer. Unless you're sitting out there to get burnt, that's not going to happen because the sun is actually good for you. God created the sun, for us, we shouldn't protect ourselves from the sun. I think that's insanity, but we live in a clown world. You guys already know that. Who gets sick in Puerto Rico? They have nice weather. Amen. It's a beautiful day out there right now. One of my favorite, and it's actually no rain today because it's been rainy season, but today there's not even like a cloud in the sky, so notice the perfect lighting. Yeah, I dig it. Back for more. Cheers, family. Novum also says, I don't know how to pronounce whatever you're saying there. Lipsamol. Is that a vitamin? Let me know. I've never heard of that one, so good to note. We don't want another. Exactly, George. No one does, so we shouldn't even talk about it anymore. Yeah, so you already know. Moonburn. Welcome, Trend Watch. Welcome, everyone just joining us. What up, hodlers? What up, Duran? Appreciate you guys. But anyways, we have a lot to cover, so let's break into some Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts where the Bitcoin price action is likely to go next. If you're just joining us, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. I greatly appreciate the support, family. Yeah, these 3 Bitcoin metrics say a fresh Bitcoin price move is imminent. So let's freaking go. Number 1, trader on Bitcoin price says seems like a move is imminent. We have Bitcoin have flagged over Christmas, dip into lows of 41,650, but the tide can soon change. And guess what? It already is. For analyst Matthew Hyland, he talks about coming in the form of the Bollinger Bands and the RSI. These have provided advanced notice of upside in the recent months. The daily Bollinger Bands are back to squeezing to that level that triggered the last 2 moves up through 30 and 40,000. So with the daily RSI at 2-month lows and the 3-day MACD currently crossing down with less than 3 days to negate, it seems like a move is imminent here. And lo and behold, we just had that imminent move. We're up over $1,000 on the daily. Next up, Bollinger Bands constrict. Bollinger Bands are a popular volatility indicator which closely tracks the Bitcoin price action, suggesting when volatility can break out. Now, currently, the time frame on the daily bands are narrowing after a period of expansion, something which, while not necessarily straight away, precedes a new round of volatility. And earlier in the year, the bands collapsed to an extremely narrow position. Hyland posted this chart showing how comparatively tight the bands currently are. Now, how many of you use the Bollinger Bands in your analysis on your charts on TradingView? Let me know. We typically check that out when we do our pump watches. We'll also talk about the RSI flushing out the oversold levels. The Relative Strength Index has proven a faithful tool for Bitcoin traders during the Q4 bullish comeback. The classic momentum oscillator, which offers insight into how overbought or oversold Bitcoin is at a given price, has seen something of a reset on the daily timeframes in the second half of December. And here you're looking at the Bitcoin 1-day chart. Now at 53 as far as the RSI, it is firmly below the overbought 70 line and even further below its month-to-date peak of 76. Now, longer time frames are just as promising, as noted last week by veteran trader Peter Brandt, quoting him here from X. Some analysts claim the Bitcoin is terribly overbought. In fact, the monthly RSI is currently at the sweet spot, where previous bull markets have greatly accelerated their advances. Not predicting this, just pointing it out. Now, the MACD also counts down for the bears, another bullish indicator, may yet throw a spanner in the works when it comes to Happy New Year for the Bitcoin bulls. As you can see here, this is the Bitcoin 3-day chart showing you with the MACD. This is the moving average convergence divergence, which on the 3-day time frames is threatening a bearish trend flip. Highland notes several days remain in order for the signal to negate itself, thanks to the price action. Quoting him here, Cross was 100% accurate the whole year, leading to lower and higher prices after. And he tweeted on X, the Bitcoin 3-day MACD is currently crossing down. The next 3-day candle closes in 3 days. So 3 days to negate based on price action. Cross was 100% accurate the whole year. And the last bull cross up occurred around 27, which we updated at the time. And now a little more technical analysis for where we're currently at. This was just published minutes before I went live. Bitcoin has been stuck between the 20-day exponential moving average of 42.5 and the overhead resistance of 44.7, as you can see on the daily chart right here. The price action of the past few days has formed an ascending triangle pattern that will complete on a break and close above 44.7. So we got to keep our eyes out on that, with our next target being $49,178. And contrarily, if the price turns down and breaks below the triangle, it'll invalidate the positive setup. That may trigger the stops of several traders, pulling the price to the 50-day simple moving average, sitting just north of $40,000, and then later on to $37,980. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Let me know if you feel we're likely to continue marching north for the end of this year, or do you think we'll pull back some, continue consolidating? Let me know your thoughts. I use BB combo, Bollinger Bands, nice, with the Lucid, SAR, Stop, and Reverse. Good to note, Andy. I appreciate you sharing that with me. How many of you are actual analysts in the trenches over on TradingView? Let me know. I love to know what indicators you guys are using. Put God first, eat whole foods, exercise, live your wife. You mean life? Half your profits. Oh, give your, I see what you mean. You'll live long. That is if you have a wife. Well, there you have it. You have some advice coming from wisdom for those with a wife. Now, if you don't have a wife, then what advice would you be giving? I guess you just replace wife with life. Let me know, family. Here goes Biddy. Yeah, we're pumping right now, family. Keep the pump going. Smash the likes. We're now up over $1,100 on the day. You gotta love it. Meaning, all you whole coiners are up over $1,100 today. Doesn't it feel good? If you're a half a coiner, you're still up almost $600 on the day. Not too shabby. Now, if you're a double coiner, then you're up $2,200 on the day. Beautiful. Now, if you're a Michael Saylor and you have I don't know, almost 200,000 Bitcoin and 1% of the Bitcoin supply, I can't even calculate those gains. So you do the math. Do you cold store any of your Bitcoin? I highly recommend cold storage. It's the only way I recommend to custody your crypto. 100%. We talk about that every day on the show. Only keep on the exchanges what you can afford to lose. The same with the bank. Only keep in the bank what you can afford to lose. And if you're banking with JP Morgan Chase, look into getting a loan and take that money and buy as much Bitcoin as you can. That's the advice of Michael Saylor. So, hey, just saying. And show Jamie Dimons who's the boss over here. Bitcoin is the boss, not fiat. You know what I mean? So take his dirty fiat that you borrow from his bank and purchase as much Bitcoin as you can and launch a speculative attack on fiat, just as Michael Saylor is doing in real time in the flesh right now. Long live the Giga Chad. In my opinion, it won't pull back until after the new year, says David. What DEX can we buy sats? That's a great question. What DEXs do you guys recommend? Decentralized exchanges. What comes to mind? Sushi Swap. You can probably buy some. What are the other ones out there? There's quite a few. I just can't think of them right now. Is Kraken considered decentralized exchange? Let me know. That could be a solution as well. We need 43.5 for a pump this week. Let's go. Send it. Maybe we'll have a pump watch this evening. Just MicroStrategy purchasing 600 million plus worth of Bitcoin. is a pretty big deal. You know what I mean? So major Bitcoin buy today. So that should continue to pump the prices. Let's freaking go. And now there's rumors of him buying like another $5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So come on, bring it. There you go. Dankness recommends Kraken. So check into that. I know they have very low fees. I am waiting until after Mercury goes direct before I transfer my Bitcoin and SHIB from Coinbase. So are you kind of analyzing the cosmos, the stars, the constellations to make your move? Very interesting. Kraken is centralized, but I like it, says Jeff. Right on. Melda, bravo, I'll take half your BTC. There you go. Stress Free says my ex-wife cost me 80 BTC. Good Lord, Stress. I mean, now I know why you're stress free, because you mentioned your ex-wife cost you that. So I'm reading between the lines here. Stress free, that must mean she couldn't find the rest. Ooh, there you go. Scan says, let's first get to 100,000 BTC sale, then we'll talk about 1 million Bitcoin sale. Feel me? I'll feel you, dog. I'll feel you, dog. Pancake Swap, there you go. There's another decentralized exchange. Appreciate you sharing. Uniswap, how'd I forget that one? Uniswap's probably the biggest, or one of the biggest. Who was traded on Ether Delta 2017 DEX. Interesting. Kraken's good, but nothing is centralized other than Bitcoin, mentions Dan Carden. Barry, welcome to the party, family. We're pumping, so let's get this show on the road. Have you had a Faraday wallet? I haven't. I've heard of it, Lulu, but I've never used it, so I can't speak on it. How do you feel about the XTZ, aka Tezos? I'm not too familiar with it, to be quite honest with you. Mercury retrograde causes all kinds of screw ups with electronics. Oh, okay, JB. Appreciate the insights. I only date women that have Bitcoin. Smart man, Dankness. Still cleaning up in the miners. Exciting that this is only getting started. Go Bitcoin, go Bit Farms. Amen, Nate, and congratulations. Shout out to all my Bitcoin hodlers in the green today. I love it. I love celebrating gains. These scams are getting out of hand. They sure are. If you type in Bitcoin into YouTube right now, there's a plethora of live streams of the AI-generated Michael Saylors, Brad Garlinghouses, you name it, all looking to scam you and take your precious crypto. Yet YouTube allows their streams to get 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people on, and we struggle to get 600 people on a legitimate stream. So it's mind-boggling at the least. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. Uni has turned into centralized garbage. Oh, did it? I didn't know that. It became centralized? Wow. Appreciate the insights. Stress Free says correct. Right on. 2024 is going to be lit for Bitcoin. Amen. It's going to be lit for the biddies. That's why we're stacking now. We're front running all these major institutions, nation states, and sovereign wealth funds that are looking to make big moves. So you have a window of opportunity, which is fastly closing. So seize the moment and take advantage of it while you still can, because it's only going to become more and more difficult to become a Bitcoin whole coiner. Bitcoin's only going to get more and more expensive as time goes on, as time has shown us. Tangent and Kraken and set stop losses, and you're good to go, says Palm Beach Chris. Thank you for sharing. More than likely, YouTube is making the fake videos. Could you imagine that? It's YouTube scamming everyone? I wouldn't be surprised. Why can't they shut that down? The same scam has existed since I got into crypto in 2017. It still exists. And those streams get the most viewers. So you got to really question that. I agree there. Lit as a hodl gang. Shout out to the hodl gang. Hodl gang. Hodl gang. Appreciate you, Raven. What's with YouTube allowing all the scammers? That's the question that I always ask myself. Like, I asked myself that same question, Denise, Yvette. When JV says stop hodling, you know it's an AI. Yeah, if you ever see me on a stream saying, sell your Bitcoin, it's AI. And I shouldn't even said that, because now the scammers will probably quote that and clip that, and then they'll be like, JV says sell your Bitcoin. Oh, man. Will we ever see the crypto company buyouts from large institutions or merging cryptos? Good question, Samson. Hodl says John Hodl. I like your name, fam. George, they have the tech to make the fake videos, and they can't use the same tech to detect. They should work on it. Amen. You know what I mean? Obviously, the scam works very well, hence why so many people are doing it, because it's not just one stream. You'll notice a plethora of them at the same time. time. In fact, now they're pissing me off because they're stealing my thumbnails that I create, and they're using my thumbnails for their scams. And I'm just like, ugh. These mofos. Still waiting on those Bitcoin socks in your merch store, JV. Nice, Nate. As soon as they come in, you'll have to send me a photo over on Discord so we can check them out. Michael Saylor, Bitcoin giveaways make me super bullish. It's been a while since we have seen those. Yeah, I mean, they're going strong right now. I saw some streams yesterday with Saylor. 10,000 live viewers. You know, I can't imagine how much money people are being scammed. What up, Lewis? I appreciate you tuning in. Welcome, everybody. We still have so much to cover, so let's dive into our next story of the day. We discussed the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. Now for breaking news. MicroStrategy just made a major purchase, as the headline reads here. MicroStrategy bags 14,620 Bitcoins ahead of the potential ETF approval. That's right. MicroStrategy, the first publicly traded company to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet, making big moves. MicroStrategy and its subsidiaries purchased another 14,620 BTC for $615 million in cash between November 20th and December 26th. The firm officially announced in its 8K filing with the US SEC. The latest Bitcoin stash cost MicroStrategy roughly $42,000 per Bitcoin, including fees and other expenses, so they're already in the green. The purchase brings MicroStrategy and its subsidiaries aggregate Bitcoin holdings to now 189,150 Bitcoin, putting them at an aggregate purchase price of approximately $5.9 billion and an average purchase price per Bitcoin of roughly $31,100. MicroStrategy's latest Bitcoin purchase follows another massive purchase of 16,000 Bitcoin November 2023, which the firm acquired at the price of $36,000 per Bitcoin. The company previously bought 6,000 in September and October and 12,000 back in June. The acquisition is another evidence of MicroStrategy's commitment to the Bitcoin investment, coming in line with the vision of its co-founder and the major Bitcoin bull, the GigaChat himself, Michael Saylor. The announcement comes just a few weeks before January 10th, the day when the community is widely anticipating to see the spot Bitcoin ETF or several such ETFs approved by the SEC. Let me know if you feel we'll likely get this approval in January. And according to Saylor, a spot Bitcoin ETF may be the biggest development on Wall Street in 30 years because such a product would open the door to mainstream retail and institutional investors that previously haven't been able to access BTC. Not everyone is optimistic about the implications of the spot Bitcoin ETF coming onto the market. According to Trezor's Bitcoin analyst, Joseph Tetek, a spot Bitcoin ETF may take people further from self-custody and potentially create millions of unbacked Bitcoin. And I'm actually going to be diving deeper into this particular scenario a little later in the show. But here's something Max Keiser shared. He says the source is MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is prepping a $5 billion mixed debt and equity shelf offering. Could they be prepping to purchase another 100,000 Bitcoin? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, Saylor's going hard. I hear they already own 0.9% of the Bitcoin supply. That's just the company. And if you add Michael Saylor's personal stash, well above 1%. So you know he's holding on to a lot of Bitcoin. Now let's see what Dylan LeClaire added here. They can only issue another 4.7 million shares, so 3.1 billion at today's prices, with Saylor's retaining 50% of the voting shares. Good to note. And also, here's the tweet that Michael Saylor shared, and I copied and posted here. MicroStrategy acquired the 14,620 Bitcoin for $615 million at the average price of $42,000 per Bitcoin. And as of the 26th of which is yesterday, MicroStrategy now hodls over 189,000 Bitcoin acquired for $5.9 billion at the average price of $31,168. Now here's what Adam Back added to this. Note how this works is MicroStrategy sold 610 million new shares at the market, diluting the existing shareholders' percentage ownership. But it uses the proceeds to buy Bitcoin. And in fact, again, the Bitcoin share ratio increased. The net effect is about 1.4% anti-dilutive in Bitcoin per share. So there you have it. I mean, clearly a bullish move, knows what he is doing. Now, kudos to Max Keiser because he made a tweet back in, I think it was June of last year. Yep, June 14, 2022. Here's what he wrote. MicroStrategy has room on the balance sheet to buy another 500 million in Bitcoin. What did they just announce today? Purchasing 600 million worth of Bitcoin. So clearly the high priest knows his ish. I'm hearing the board has given Saylor the green light to back up the truck and buy size. He is chilling on his yacht at present, but will make the decision soon. So shout out to Michael Saylor and Max Keiser. Max also tweeted this morning, sadistic state actors breed hopelessly dependent drug-addled wards of the state with all testosterone removed. Bitcoin fixes this. Titans of humanity, like Michael Saylor, are engaging in massive speculative attacks on status with BTC. The new dark age is ending. Preach. This is a speculative attack against fiat currency. And guess who's leading the charge? The one and only Giga Chad, Michael Saylor. So what are your thoughts on that? How much of the Bitcoin supply do you think MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor will ultimately own, considering they already own roughly 1% of all the Bitcoin in existence? Let me know your thought. Now, in market cap, says Joe, 11 million. I don't know. We're going to be discussing that later. Willy Woo shares 3 new Bitcoin price prediction scenarios, and the most bullish one is 11.5 million per coin. So we're going to be breaking that down in a little bit. So stay tuned. Mr. Bone Daddy, what it do? We are on one staircase away from have Harris as president. Please don't say that. Poof is the word, says Melda. Amen. I am just being honest, says Chris. Lottery ticket is basically the same as a moon meme coin degen play. Crypto with real utility and use case is way different than the casino. Well said, Mr. Chinks. And I know we're referring to Bitcoin there. It don't get no better than that. Yeah, the government wants weak men so they can enslave us with no resistance. We need testosterone. Amen, digital dankness. So let's keep stacking them sats and adding testosterone to the world. I'm sure if you ask Saylor, he doesn't own anywhere enough. That's right. In fact, whenever we ask him what other cryptos does he recommend, here's what he typically will say.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There is no second best crypto asset.
Well said, Mr. Saylor. There is no second best. At least he won't dump the market. Amen. He's the real deal. Much respect to Saylor. And we're still pumping. We're now up almost 3% on the day, 43.4 incoming, baby. Send it. Maybe we're going to have a pump watch this evening. If we do a pump watch, how many of you are going to tune in? Let me know. That gets me excited. What's going on? Bitcoin Trini in the building. He's going to be saving God against the corporations. Bitcoin is God hacking humanity. So I thank God for Bitcoin every day. And 100%. Mr. Chinks, what's going on? What's going on? What's new, family? How was your Christmas? Let me know. Love it, says JB. What it do? Welcome, welcome. Everyone just joining the live stream. We now got over 624 people here with us on the tube. We're also live on Rumble. We do a dual stream each and every day. If you don't know, now you know. Jordan James, thanks for subbing to the #1 daily pod. I appreciate that. Lit Leakers, what it do? Welcome. That's my alarm clock. Nice. Always here for the pumpage watch. Love that. Tell one. Good stuff. I'll be there with the bells. Nice. But there will be at the bar. Do what you do, dankness. Live your best life, family. Let there be pump. Pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Pump watch. Yes, let's go. This time we need to actually break 45. That'd be pretty lit. The pump watch I did where we broke 42 and we hit the new annual high, it was a few weeks ago. We had over 25,000 people on that stream. That's like a record. It was pretty lit. So I want to recreate that when we hit 45. I think we can have over 25,000 people on the stream. It's going to be lit. You know what I mean? Because what better thing to do than to watch the Bitcoin pump with your broskies? You know what I mean? What up, Jaws? Appreciate you. Bitcoin is creeping. Sweet. Yeah, 43.5 incoming. The pump is real. That's right. Only 2 more days until I can change my username. What is that all about? YouTube allow you to change your username every so many days? Is that what you're talking about? Bonk. Welcome, Bonk. And shout out to the HODL gang and all the MicroStrategy and all the members of the channel. If there is a star next to your name, it means you're a member of the channel. You're supporting the show. I greatly appreciate that. You didn't wear that hat last pump watch, man. Maybe that's the secret. I didn't have the hat on. Oh, snap. Like message filled with people. Right on. Need 45 for 45. Let's go. Yeah, 25. What are you referring to there? I don't think Bitcoin as crypto because it's so unique. Altcoins are crypto. I understand that sentiment 100%. Michael is pumping. Yes, you notice all the legends of the world are Michaels. First person that comes to mind, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, the black version and the white version. Mike Tyson. Then we got Michael Saylor, the Giga Chad.
There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best, okay?
There is no second best. You heard it first and foremost from the Giga Chad. Boom Select, welcome family. Keep the pump moving. Nick, thanks for subbing. We appreciate that. It's all in the hat. Hat for stack. Let's go. But anyways, let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss this ETF warning. Check this out. The headline reads, Spot Bitcoin ETF could result in millions of unbacked BTC. According to this analyst, the potential approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF in the US will trigger fundamental problems related to the original vision of Bitcoin by the anonymous creator, Mr. Nakamoto. According to one analyst, the concept of the spot Bitcoin ETF, an investment product that tracks the price of Bitcoin by holding Bitcoin, conflicts with the idea of self-custody, according to Joseph Tekek, the Bitcoin analyst at the hardware crypto firm Trezor. And shout out to Trezor, definitely one of my favorite cold storage wallets. Unlike a Bitcoin ETF, self-custodial crypto storage solutions allow users to own Bitcoin by taking full responsibility for holding the private key or the actual asset. Now, quoting him here from the interview, in principle, spot Bitcoin ETFs take people further from self-custody and potentially introduce a systemic risk, as ETFs will be safer on the surface than the exchanges. One possible consequence of spot Bitcoin ETF approval could be the large quantities of Bitcoin, which could be stored in central locations where the government can seize it, the analyst said, referring to the scenario seen in the confiscation of the gold in the United States back in the 1930s. I think the Gold Confiscation Act was 1933. Correct me if I'm wrong. Quoting him here, and while a spot Bitcoin ETF could make exposure to Bitcoin price movements more accessible to individuals and institutions alike, simply buying Bitcoin through conventional means would offer the same exposure. Do we really need ETFs for this? Let me know your thoughts on that. And I think he makes a great point there. My mouse acting up again. Another significant issue with the spot Bitcoin ETF is that the ETF hodlers will not have the option to withdraw the underlying asset. Instead, these assets are held in aggregate by the ETF itself, which raises the possibility of the unchecked issuance of paper Bitcoin, not supported by actual Bitcoin. The supply, which is capped at 21 million per coin, quoting the analyst again, the result could be the creation of millions of unbacked Bitcoin, which would distort genuine markets and depress the value of the real Bitcoin, all while handing greater agency to the giants of centralized traditional finance, the very antithesis of Satoshi's original vision. Now, his remarks on self-custody versus spot Bitcoin ETFs flag a potential downside amid the growing optimism of the market, with various firms and analysts expecting the US SEC to approve the spot Bitcoin ETF by January 10th, roughly 2 weeks out. Let me know if you feel we'll get that green light. Not everyone has been optimistic about the spot Bitcoin ETFs, though. Arthur Hayes, the co-founder of crypto exchange BitMEX, believes the spot ETFs could completely destroy Bitcoin as we know it if they're too successful. If not Bitcoin, such ETFs will likely compete with centralized crypto exchanges like Coinbase, as the ETF fees are expected to be lower than those on the exchanges, according to some Bloomberg analysts, and according to Quantum Economics founder, Mr. Greenspan. There is no direct conflict between self-custody and the spot Bitcoin ETFs because retail users will stick to self-custody. Now, quoting him here, personally speaking, I would never buy any sort of paper IOU forms of Bitcoin, but that's because I have the option of self-custody, he shared. Most institutions don't have that option, and he does make a good point. These ETFs are not for the plebs like you and I. Self-custody is always the best option. Not your keys, not your cheese, aka not your keys, not your coins. However, for the big asset managers and the big money, they need an option such as an ETF. He also shares there are zero advantages and plenty of disadvantages for retail investors to hold Bitcoin ETFs, such as the fee. You're going to be paying roughly 1% of your investment each and every year. So over the span of 20 years, that's 20% of your Bitcoin. So you got to keep that in mind. Way better to just hold your Bitcoin in cold storage. I agree with that sentiment 100%. Let me know your thoughts. JB says, FUD, those things you can't print Bitcoin. They will sell into the huge spikes and not be able to cover the coins they owe for sure, says Unmatrix. The FUD is getting weak, says Kevin Cortez. Miners are working with Jamie Dimon, says Norm30, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, Jamie the Tapeworm Dimon, that is. Had to stack? No, they find a way to delay until they stack their own bag. So you think they'll find another loophole to push it back? How far do you think it'll get pushed back till? Let me know. Why are you reading propaganda? Says Damien 8. I'm just sharing the latest news with you, big dog. Just like they said they would with gold, and then they should be hangable offense. Bitcoin miner influence climate is heating up. ETFs may pump if we may get rich in the short run, but in the long run, I think the ETFs will be bad and we're being short-sighted, says Jeff. How might artificial intelligence contribute to predicting the Bitcoin price movement, and what ethical concerns could emerge from such predictive capabilities? I mean, that's a great question. Honestly, I don't know. Keep it real. I don't know. Michael Jordan, Jackson, Tyson, choose one, anyone. That's right. All the greats are Michaels. It is a barrier bond. But until retail not able to self-custody, there is no Bitcoin for sale, 12 to 18 months. When Bitcoin is in six figures and want to sell 1/2 of your Bitcoin to take some profits, you might never, says Frank. Welcome to the stream, Frank. Be able to buy it back. I understand what you're saying. LFC says ETFs could become fractional reserve banking. Yeah, paper versions of Bitcoin, fiat in, fiat out. That's not a good thing, I don't think, but it's going to help bring in mass adoption. So it's kind of like the gift and the curse, as there's cons to every pro and pros to every con, if you know what I mean. Know what the enemy is thinking and saying. Word up, JB. I like that. Have you ever done a parasite cleanse? I have. It's been a few years. I'm probably overdue for another one, but I have. Mike's phone, welcome. And I did a lot of sauna work with that parasite cleanse. I used to do the sauna every day, and I've been slacking. I haven't been going in my sauna here. Mike's phone, welcome. Yuckfu, welcome. Look at the Bitcoin mempool, love it. Bitcoin miners are getting rich. Shout out to the miners making big moves. Michelangelo, what up, Berserk? Joe Buttle, 700 people on, and not one can address the Satoshi Nakamoto U.S. Homeland Security interview. Speak for yourself, Joe. Yeah, speak for yourself. The ETFs will facilitate much greater demand, and because they don't really sell, it will also facilitate ever tighter supply. Result, Bitcoin goes up. We'll be buying at once, or we're buying one Satoshi. There you go. Why buy ETF when you can pay fees and don't own it? Precisely. If you like paying fees, by all means, ETF is a great solution. Now, if you want to invest in a Bitcoin stock, you have all the Bitcoin miner options. You also have MicroStrategy. And with MicroStrategy, you don't get charged that fee. They do these creative things that is beyond my comprehension, but let's just say Michael Saylor is a genius. And MicroStrategy is now up over 350%, referring to the stock on the year. So MicroStrategy actually outperformed Bitcoin this year. Bitcoin's up roughly, I would say, between 160 and 170%. Insane, right? And many of these miners are up multiple hundreds of percent as well. Anthony, thanks for subbing to the #1 Daily Pod. We're still pumping. We're above 43.5, 44 incoming. Send it. Let's get it. Bitcoin now up over $1,300 on the day. So congratulations to all my Bitcoin hodlers. I love it. People buy the ETF because it's easier than having to understand the crypto verse. Yeah, I guess they don't tune into the podcast, but to each their own. Let's see that pic you sent to your mom of having to understand the crypto, or what is that? The mom of the groceries? Yeah, I can't share that with you. Actually, I guess I can. It's not a lot of groceries. You want me to really pull up that pic? When I went to Supermax, let's see if it's in my phone here. If it's still in my phone, I don't have any clue. Is it in here? I probably deleted it because it's an insignificant photo, so I'd have to pull it up from my mom's chat on Facebook probably. But it's not a big deal. It's just a grocery cart with very minimal groceries, and it's like, whoa! But I buy expensive things because I eat healthy, and the things I buy are typically more money than the typical products. But it is what it is, family. Back to the chat. Yeah, MicroStrategy's up 11.5%. Nice. $700, my goodness. I am so happy I bought it a couple of months ago. Right on, Joe. Good stuff. You guys are crushing it with MicroStrategy. Michael Myers. Oh, no. MicroStrategy is a great way to avoid the fees and still get paid precisely. You know what I mean? Kevin, trading on familiar apps for folks will naturally bring people in. Right on. 43.5 is now Bitcoin going to be up this 2 weeks. And I've been telling you, these dips are shorter and shorter lived. Every time we get a dip, within 24 hours, we're right back where we left off. So that's another sign of the times that we're going to continue marching north, heading into 2024. All organic all the time. That's right, Raven. Organic is the way to go. You got Trader Joe's? Not sure. I typically go to Costco. Costco has a lot of organic options, but every once in a while I got to go to Supermax, which is the local grocery store, like their Publix, and get different items that I can't find at Costco. What up, George Torres? I appreciate you subbing to the #1 Daily Pod. Sailor, buy Bitcoin upon approval of MicroStrategy board approval. BR and others have directors, knows exactly what will happen after the ETF. You already know. Sailor's a smart man. We'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? I want the party next year. Please pump Bitcoin, JB. That's right, 100K fiesta for Bitcoin. Let's go. But anyways, fam, as we continue our pumpage, let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss the latest with ARK Invest, Cathie Wood. The headline reads, ARK's Cathie Wood sees short-term effect of the spot Bitcoin ETF as sell on news. The growing anticipation around the potential approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs could negatively impact the Bitcoin price for the short term, according to Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood, founder and CEO of Chief Investment Officer of ARK, believes that some investors are likely to sell on the news once the spot ETF is approved by the SEC. Wood expects that some investors will not want to miss the opportunity of taking some profits, as there has been a big anticipatory move based on the expectation of potential approval of the spot ETF. She said in an interview with Yahoo Finance yesterday, the 26th, quoting Cathie Wood here, those who have been moving in and enjoying some nice profits will probably sell on the news. That's an expression that traders use. So you anticipate the event, beat up the price, and then sell on the news. Let me know if you agree or disagree with her sentiment. And while the short-term impact of the potential spot Bitcoin ETF approval could be associated with some investors selling, the long-term perspective is promising and is more important, according to Wood, quoting her again. That would be very short-term because we think it is going to happen. There is that the SEC is going to be giving the spot Bitcoin ETF the green light for institutional investors to participate. Once approved, the spot Bitcoin ETF will become one of the easiest ways for institutions to access BTC, allowing them to allocate a small portion of trillions of dollars in assets into Bitcoin. The ARK CEO believes, and according to Wood, the price could move significantly if the institutional investors put at least 0.1% or 0.2% of their assets into Bitcoin, which has a supply cap of 21 million coins. Wood's ARK Invest is one of the 14 firms that have filed for the spot Bitcoin ETF with the SEC. ARK Spot Bitcoin ETF, the ARK 21 shares Bitcoin ETF, is developed in collaboration with the European crypto exchange traded product provider 21 shares. In her latest interview, Wood noted that the spot Bitcoin ETF discussions with the SEC have been very positive, adding more optimism about the potential of the first spot Bitcoin ETFs being approved by January 10th. Quoting her again, something did change within the last month to 6 weeks, Wood stated, adding the SEC changed its approach to the Bitcoin ETF reviews from silent denials to asking thoughtful, detailed technical questions. And according to Wood, that's a very positive move that has led to fruitful dialogues with the SEC. I think the outlook is bright for the spot Bitcoin ETF, and we do think it will be in January. So there you have it. All the major ETF analysts like James Seyfarth and Eric Balchunas are also anticipating 90% probability we get this ETF approved by January 10th. Let me know your thoughts, fam. When ETF approval? Let me know in the comments. And before we dive into our next story, in our next story, we're going to discuss the 5 reasons why the spot Bitcoin ETF approval will send the Bitcoin price north of $100,000. And then I'll be sharing the latest 3 Bitcoin price prediction scenarios from the one and only Willy Woo, including $11.5 million per coin. We're going to blow your mind today. Dankness says, JV, are you going to get a hydroponic grow tower to supplement your natural diet? I'm actually looking into it. My daughter and I were talking about that. We want to plant stuff, and I think hydroponic is the way to go because with the tower, you can do so much more. So I actually appreciate you reminding me. Costco's organic options are swindling, huh? Yeah. But they do have organic produce, and that's important to me because I eat a lot of produce. So like blueberries, strawberries, and things of that nature. Because I eat oatmeal every day, organic oatmeal, and I put a lot of fruit in it. So yeah, I eat a lot of fruit. Fruit's my favorite food since I was a child. I don't know what it is. I just love fruit. I could eat a lot of it. Let me know if you guys like fruit. Hey, buddy. RDGX token is something that shouldn't be missed. Never heard of that one, but appreciate you sharing there, Lucia. Robert Levi, it's a barrier bond with the house key and the address provided by the Bitcoin Trust funds, I believe. Good to note. Yo, made it. Bring on the frenzy. Welcome, Crypto Kiwi. Welcome back, family. Shout out to my Kiwis and Aussies out there. Doesn't matter. Buy more biddies. Amen. Naz says, I don't think the ETF approval will have as big of an impact or price as some expect. People who want to buy Bitcoin can already easily buy Bitcoin on their own. Well, that part may be true, but here's the thing. Question for all of you guys. Is the Bitcoin ETF approval priced into the price action right now? Is it baked into the price? Yes or no? Because if it's not baked into the price, man, I'm telling you, I think we're going to rip after the approval, because it's going to basically greenlight the market for trillions of dollars to enter Bitcoin. And right now, the market cap of Bitcoin is less than $1 trillion. And just the top asset managers in the world control roughly 30 trillion in assets under management, BlackRock alone being over 10 trillion. So those are the big boys. And that's when the big boy money starts entering Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So Kiwi says, no, it's not baked in. I don't think it's baked in either. I don't think the halving is baked in. I don't think the ETF is baked in. I don't think the supply shock is baked in. I don't think nation state adoption is baked in. I don't think the sovereign wealth fund adoption is baked in. You know what I mean? Keep in mind, a couple of years ago, we were at 69,000 per coin, right? Welcome Bitcoin First to the #1 daily pod. Appreciate your sub, family. It means a lot. The ETFs is for the institutions, precisely. Not everyday people. Correct, Tony. Most institutions require the ETF to buy. So no, the price is not baked in. Precisely my sentiment. Thank you for sharing that. Michael Say Lord is a true legend. Right on, Juan Romero. What's up with the echo chamber? Are we still on that $46 million Bitcoin move? We'll send it. It is for the institutions, not the retailers. Precisely. You know what I mean? What coin would be wise to invest in before the bull run starts? Oh, let's see what Sailor says.
But take all your money, buy Bitcoin. Then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin.
I mean, clearly Bitcoin. Keith, $29 billion a coin Sunday. Send it, Keith. Essential, I'm glad to be here in the live chat and catch your show pretty much every day, but never for the live show. Well, I appreciate you tuning in live. Hopefully you enjoy the experience and you come back every day for the live and you get addicted to it, just like the rest of our fam here. We appreciate it. You people are stingy with the likes. Preach. Thank you, Norm. Question, what will the Bitcoin ETF be based on for value? Will you be able to buy an ETF as 1 Satoshi per day or only a value of 1 BTC per ETF? Good question, OMC. I have no clue. McLovin, what it do? They will be buying from everywhere, from the markets as well. They'll need the real Bitcoin. Correct. They're going to need the real Bitcoin, and there's only roughly 2 million Bitcoin on the exchanges, and everyone's going after that. If you have Qatar, rumor from Max Kaiser, looking to convert their $500 billion sovereign wealth fund into Bitcoin, well, there's not enough Bitcoin to go around. Then you have BlackRock looking to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. You have Michael Saylor going ham, as he's already doing in real time. So very limited supply. And then we have the Bitcoin halving, where the reward to the miners are about to get slashed in half. You know what I mean? So it's basic supply and demand, stock to flow. When you have a very limited supply, right, and you have mass demand, only one thing can happen. Prices go up. Number go up technology. You already know, family. Jennifer, what up? Do you only see your own name highlighted? I don't even know how that works. You know what I mean? Make love and what? Start making more money yet? You guys are a trip. But anyways, we still have a lot to cover. We've been going for almost an hour, so let's dive into our next story of the day. We got 2 more stories, and then we'll do our live Q&A at the end of the show. Our next story is discussing Bitcoin smashing $100,000 after the approval of the Bitcoin ETF. We've even shared predictions on the show from Samson Mao that Bitcoin can soar as high as $1 million per coin off the back of the approval of the ETFs within days or weeks after that green light from the SEC. But here's a more humble prediction, but nonetheless, 5 reasons why the Bitcoin price should smash $100,000 per coin. Number 1, Bitcoin is validated. Boomers enter the market and issuers compete for dominance. The initial question to consider is why someone would wait until Bitcoin price surpasses the all-time high to start investing. Most individuals are either lazy or cautious, or a combination of the two, meaning they are hesitant to open an exchange account or invest in anything that hasn't received their broker's endorsement. Poor souls. Even if Grayscale offers Bitcoin-backed trust funds, there is little incentive for traditional investment brokers to offer such products. It's important to note that the median retirement savings for North Americans under 34 is only $17,600. Good Lord, not even enough to buy a half a biddy, while those between 35 and 64 have accumulated a substantial $142,000. Now we're talking. According to Vanguard, now the data suggests that millennials and Generation Z are not the ones who will propel the Bitcoin price to 100,000 a coin, and beyond. In essence, the first reason the spot Bitcoin ETF is crucial lies in the minimal effort required for the baby boomers to invest, and more significantly, by offering products where the asset manager retains the management fee, the incentives for the providing of the product increases significantly. This means that sales teams at BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, Bitwise, VanEck, and other issuers will be fully engaged in attracting both internal and external clients. Other funds managed by these multi-trillion-dollar asset managers may also be encouraged to invest in Bitcoin's newly launched ETF. Now, historically, the ETF industry has witnessed a concentration of assets amongst the top two issuers. For example, SPDR Gold Trust and iShares Gold Trust represent over 85% of the industry's assets under management. And additionally, the market leader State Street's GLD has an expense ratio of 0.4%, which is considerably higher than most of its competitors. This data underscores the importance of gaining an early advantage in terms of ETF hodlings. Now, the next factor that can excel Bitcoin above $100,000. Bitcoin receives regulatory clearance, and the spot ETF eases concerns for investment advisors. That's right. Regarding the regulation, there have never been a definitive statement from the US SEC regarding the legitimacy of Bitcoin, let alone from legislators. In fact, everyone's favorite senator, Warren, announced on December 11th that 5 more senators have agreed to co-sponsor one of her bills aimed at cracking down on the illicit use of cryptocurrency for money laundering and terrorism financing. In this regard, the support of BlackRock and Fidelity legitimizes the asset class. Now, when she points a finger at Bitcoin and crypto, there's 100 fingers pointing right back in her ugly face. For example, Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan Chase have paid over $38 billion in fine for illicit activity, money laundering, and spoofing precious metal markets. I had to throw that out there. Now, while the SEC's decision to limit the spot Bitcoin ETFs to cash-only creation and redemption may not be the ideal tax solution for investors, it dismisses regulatory concerns, as every Bitcoin held by these funds must be acquired by intermediaries pre-approved by the SEC. Essentially, the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF significantly reduces regulatory risks. This difference also benefits investment advisors, as it spares potential investors from dealing with Bitcoin transactions. Investors themselves often prefer instruments that do not require specific tax regulations, making the ETF a much simpler option compared to direct crypto investment. These changes may initially appear uneventful, with the impact of the spot Bitcoin ETF approval not necessarily occurring in the first few hours or days. However, when these 5 favorable trends gain full momentum, it is not likely that Bitcoin will trade below $100,000 ever again. It is only a matter of time. So let me know if you agree or disagree with that sentiment, that these bullish factors will send Bitcoin north of 100,000 for once and for all. And I'm going to read your comments before we dive into our feature story of the day and discuss the latest from on-chain analyst Willy Woo with his 3 Bitcoin price prediction scenarios he just recently shared, with one including the Bitcoin price skyrocketing to $11.5 million per Bitcoin. Let's go. Digital class is in session. Amen. Love it. Adam Wild, welcome family. Jennifer says lazy people. Yeah, typically. My Bitcoin is on Nexo and I will get 5% interest while I wait for it to go up. Well, just keep this in mind. Many people had their Bitcoin on, for example, Celsius, earning 5% yield or whatever it was, and then it went under and they lost all their biddies altogether. So there is always risk when someone else holds your private keys, aka holds your crypto. So for your sake, I hope all works well, but you also got to consider the risks with earning those yields, family. Obviously, if you have your Bitcoin sitting in a private cold storage wallet, you're not getting the yields, but it's safe and protected. So you got to think about that. Not your keys, not your coins. Amen, Daddy-O. Well said. When do the institutions have to hold the Bitcoin to back the ETF prior to the approval or after? I would like to believe they need to hold it before, but who knows? Because everything is cash in, cash out. So it kind of gives them room for manipulation, in my opinion. Bitcoin private trust, says JK. Word, Cathie Wood is spot on with her sentiment, and the approval of the ETF will not move the price of Bitcoin since it was created with cash only. I think the FOMO is going to kick in personally, because just when BlackRock submitted their application for the ETF a few months ago, the entire market pumped and we, shot up significantly. Hence why we're in the 40,000 range right now. If BlackRock didn't do that, we probably wouldn't have gotten that jump. So what's going to happen when Gary and the SEC comes out and we see Gary the worm, Gensler, aka No Hair Gare, or No Claire Gare, whatever you want to refer to him as. And he says, we have officially approved all 13 or 14 of these spot Bitcoin ETFs. We're giving you guys exactly what you want. I think that news is going to be so lit. I could already see it. I can see Bitcoin pumping $10,000 God candle in a day. What do you guys think? I personally don't think it's baked in, but we shall soon see. Which cold store wallets do you recommend? I think Trezor's great. I hear a lot of good news, thoughts about Elapal. I haven't used that one, but I hear it's great. Blockstream Jade, I hear, is great. There's quite a few of them actually right now. There's a lot of competition. I don't recommend the Ledger anymore for two reasons. Number one, there is a backdoor, which the creators admit to. And number two, it's not open source. So I think Trezor would be superior. Also, Cold Card has a great wallet that has air gap technology you may want to look into. Who will BlackRock ETFs be selling to? People's 401ks? Anyone and everyone. I think it's going to be lit. You already saw the Bitwise ETF ads with the most interesting man in the world. You know what I mean? They already launched a few commercials. Hashdex released an ETF commercial. Who do you think BlackRock is going to hire for their commercial? I'm guessing like Al Pacino or someone major. You know what I mean? You keep taunting me with all this talk of being baked in. Hey, happy 420 family. Got to get some green. Amen, dankness. JK, go Jade. Amen. Ryan, welcome. ICP. The investors have anxiety, but someone's not telling them what to do. I like my own advice, and I only have myself to blame if I fail. Well said, Jennifer. That's called empowerment, right? You can't blame anyone else because you're an empowered individual. Relying on the advice of someone else is the definition of, or the opposite of empowerment. That'd be disempowerment. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are that way. They don't want to make any decision for themselves because they want to be able to point the finger on why they screwed up at the end of the day. So I'm all for empowerment. Looking yourself in the mirror, making a decision, and living with the consequences. OMC, 500 billion with Qatar. That means we are out of Bitcoin. Exactly. Say goodbye to all the Bitcoin. Supply shock 2024. It's going to get real. Mohammed, I think we're in the 40,000 because of the upcoming halving event. Now, I personally don't think the halving is baked in because keep in mind, 2 years ago, we were at 69,000. And every halving, we typically add a big fat zero to the end of that price action. If we were to add a big fat zero from today's price action, we're talking $430,000 per coin. And if we added a big fat zero from the all-time high of 2021, whoa, then we're talking 690,000 per coin. And from 50,000, 20x is 1 million per coin. And 20x is ultimately 10x times 2. So there's so many easy ways we can get to $1 million per coin. You know what I mean? What up, Nuck? Raven, are there known exchanges where you don't have to wait 2 weeks to move to Coles? Oh my God, are you waiting weeks to move your crypto? That sucks. Yeah, you shouldn't have to. I don't know what exchange you're using. I've never had to hold my crypto on the exchange for weeks. Maybe it depends upon how you're acquiring the Bitcoin, like through a card or something. I'm not sure why they would make you wait. But I have heard rumors of some exchanges making people wait months before moving their crypto off the exchanges. I don't recommend those exchanges. I think if you buy the crypto, you should immediately be able to move it off the exchange. Stock futures are forward-looking. Crypto isn't, says Jennifer. BlackRock hired the devil. They say he is a good fit for them. Yeah, and there is a devil to every level. And the Bitcoin level we're at is fighting the devil now with BlackRock. Ted Mueller, I appreciate you subbing to #1 Daily Pod. Cheers, fam. They hate when you self-custody, of course. They're trying to ban self-custody. If Liz Warren could get her way with her bill, it'd be illegal to self-custody your crypto because it's a threat to the powers that be. They want to control every element and aspect of your life. That's the sad truth. And they will with CBDCs unless you own Bitcoin. So all the more reason to stack those sats and stack those biddies. There's now 800 people on the stream. Keep pumping the likes as the price action. We continue to pump. We already touched 43.5 today on stream. Let's get this mofo to 44,000 above and beyond. You know what I mean? Got to wait for deposits to clear. Oh yeah, so depending upon how you send the funds, maybe. Just got my first Bitcoin. Massive congratulations, NKs. That's massive. You're a whole coiner. Welcome to the club. Foundation, devices, passport, air gap, user friendly, and just plain cool. Appreciate you sharing, Huddle King. You guys are awesome. Bro, it's going to be a happy new year. Hell yeah, it's going to be a hell of a year. I've been waiting for 2024 for so long. You know what I mean? They should have our money. They know what's good for us. Fact. Revolt only allows crypto WDS of fiat 2,000 a day, 10,000 a month. What kind of exchange is that? Like. Thank you, Crack Knee. Appreciate that. When the party is there, I can also be there in my wheelchair. Amen, Barry. We'll make sure it's wheelchair accessible exclusively for you. Why not? You know what I mean? We don't allow discrimination. Everyone's invited. Fiesta, Puerto Rico. Regardless if you're in a wheelchair or not, you could make it. I already spoke to my governor's office. South Carolina may be accepting Bitcoin for taxes soon. That's what's up, Jennifer. Eventually, all the states here in the USA should be accepting crypto for taxes. I mean, why wouldn't they? They should just be grateful they're getting paid the taxes because taxes are unconstitutional in the first place. Long live McAfee. Rest in peace, fam. There are people that will only buy after the ETF. That's true, Cherry. Fact. Because it legitimizes Bitcoin as an asset class in the eyes of these people that don't know any better. JV will have a cool overlay for the New Year celebration. Thanks to Dankness. We're looking forward to putting that one up. Appreciate that, family. I don't understand why people pay taxes if they can just print money, because they're corrupt, you know what I mean, overlords that control us. So don't support your oppressors if you don't have to. You know what I mean? And I would look at banking with JP Morgan Chase supporting your oppressors. You know what I mean? So I would recommend a speculative attack against their fiat currency by borrowing all the fiat trash you can from the banking institutions, buying Bitcoin, because that's what Michael Saylor says to do. And if he says it, we should listen.
And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a
where there is a will, there is a way.
Business that you love because your family works for the business that's in your family for 37 years.
Tell them,
and
Michael.
You can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin.
Tell them, Michael. But anyways, family, now for our breaking story of the day. On-chain analyst Willy Woo shared 3 Bitcoin price predictions just recently on X in a new post, and one of them shows a scenario of Bitcoin reaching $11.5 million per coin. So let's break this baby down, and massive shout out to Willy Woo. The headline reads, crypto analyst Willy Woo shared 3 Bitcoin price scenarios to reach $11.5 million per coin. Let's just get right into it. Here's the tweet that he shared. I retweeted it this morning, and here's the tweet from December 23rd, quoting Willy Woo. A private banker asked me for some Bitcoin price scenarios. Here on the back of the envelope, the calculations using 2023 numbers. Bitcoin matches the gold market cap of $710,000 per coin. Number 2, 5% of the wealth is parked into Bitcoin, which would take us to $1.1 million per coin. And now for the most bullish scenario, the upper bound price, $11.5 million, meaning half of the wealth is BTC. And he continues, 5% of all wealth being parked into Bitcoin is not that far away. There are only 600 million adults holding $100,000 plus net worth. They have 85% of all the wealth. Bitcoin has 300 million plus investors today, continuing to grow exponentially. And he shares here a post he made back on October 26th of last year. Here is the time taken to grow Bitcoin's user base by a factor of 10. We are in the 9th iteration, going from 100 million to 1 billion users. The 10th iteration will be last, 100% global adoption, and it shows you the user growth and the time it has taken. Clearly, from 1 to 10, it only took 8 days back in 2009 after the Genesis block. From 10 to 100 took 8 days. From 100 to 1,000 took 5.5 months. Wow. From 1,000 to 10,000 took a year. From 10,000 to 100,000 took a year. From 100,000 to a mil back in 2013 took 2.5 years. From 1 mil to 10 mil took 3.5 years. And from 10 mil to 100 mil took 3 years in 2020. And he's ultimately predicting we can go from 100 million active users to 1 billion, potentially by the year 2025. What are your thoughts on that sentiment? Let me know in the comments right down below, and let's continue with this thread. Let's see if you got more in here. I'm going to click on that. So yeah, I mean, this can happen quite quickly. And he does mention here, to clarify in that initial post, user equals unique active user. Active means holding Bitcoin, accessing the economic properties of Bitcoin. Data is via a mix of forensic on-chain analysis, clustering addresses into entities, and unique ID verified accounts at the exchanges via the CCAF with the survey-based deduping. So there you have it, coming directly from Willy Woo. And before I dive deeper into the particular story, I want to share what's the latest from his timeline as well. In November, he wrote, "We'll probably never see Bitcoin go below 30,000 again." And he was right, because we didn't go back below 30,000. If this on-chain pattern holds true, what you see here is Bitcoin's price discovery across 13 years. It is a counter map in Bitcoin supply according to the price hodlers paid for their coins and how it changed over time. Dense horizon bands. These are the price regions where much of the supply moved between investors, reflecting the strong agreed value. Pattern: whenever Bitcoin had strong bands and agreed price coming out of the bear market and leading into the next halving, the price never comes back to retest this band of support. And some context: why up only? Bitcoin is far from a commodity market at saturation. What we're seeing across the 13 years of this chart is Bitcoin's widespread adoption. The network had 10,000 users in 2010. Today, there is well over 300 million people using it as a store of value technology. This is only going to continue to climb with the spot Bitcoin ETF. And then Cheds chimed in, another analyst, 80% chance of sub 30,000 next 6 months, by the way. And Willy Woo responded, "Well, anything can happen in markets. It's all probabilities." Saying that probably never below 30,000 is an eye-raising thesis. And again, the normal odds for a volatile market, hence why I posted it. So there you go. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that sentiment from Willy Woo, and do you believe we'll never drop back below 30 G's ever again? Now, 10 hours ago, he shared one of my favorite on-chain indicators is the increase or decrease in the realized cap, which measures the capital being stored by the Bitcoin network. We're in the region where the money is being poured into the network at an increasing rate. And check out this Bitcoin network flows going wild. You gotta love it. And here for some more recent tweets that he shared. Let's check it out. Here he wrote, December 24th on Christmas Eve. "It is the eve before the spot Bitcoin ETF. The day is coming fast when Bitcoin becomes a mainstream bucket for wealth allocation. When that day comes, the top 1%, mostly wealthy, will hold 0.87 BTC. That's how little of it there is to go around, assuming 5% allocation." And he makes a good point. Like I said, there is very limited amount of Bitcoin currently available. And on the 23rd is where he initially shared this tweet. 5% of all the wealth being parked into Bitcoin is not that far away. There's only 600 million adults holding 100,000 plus net worth, and they have 85% of the wealth. Bitcoin has 300 plus million investors and continuing to grow exponentially. Preach. And as I shared earlier, we shared the 11.5 million scenario, which is his upper bound price range. Let me know if you agree or disagree on a bullish scenario, if we can see that price action. And if so, by what year? Let me know your honest thoughts. And out of the three, which scenario do you think is the most likely? The 710,000, the 1.1 million, or the 11.5 million, which would virtually mean all of the above? Let me know in the comments right down below. And now let's dive deeper into the story here. So Willy Woo, the famous on-chain analyst, recently shared his predictions for Bitcoin's potential price levels in various scenarios. And according to the analyst, these predictions were made in response to a question from a private banker looking for the potential Bitcoin price scenarios. Woo reveals the possible outcomes with his calculations based on 2023 figures. As I already mentioned, it could be anywhere from 710,000 per coin if we reach the market value of gold. And I think the gold market cap is roughly 10 trillion, in that ballpark. Correct me if I'm wrong, fam. And if we conquered 5% of all the assets invested into Bitcoin, we're going to be above 1.1 million. And if half the wealth in the world, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's north of 700 trillion, the total addressable market, that would send us to 11.5 million per BTC. Now that would be, in my opinion, even conservative. I've heard Michael Saylor make predictions that we can reach literally $100 million per coin, which is his most bullish prediction I've ever shared and covered here on the show, and that would mean Bitcoin tapping into 40% of the overall wealth in the world, referring to the total addressable market. So Woo believes that's a scenario of a 5% of all the wealth being transferred into Bitcoin is not a far-fetched possibility. He points out there are only 600 million adults worldwide with a net worth of 100,000, and these individuals own 85% of all the wealth. And according to Willy Woo, Bitcoin currently has more than 300 million investors and is growing exponentially, indicating a shift towards digital assets. Now, in the earlier analysis, Woo said Bitcoin investors are currently expecting higher prices and are reluctant to sell. That's right. Woo referenced the spent output profit ratio, which is the SOPR, which tracks the profit coins and when sold to new investors. Now, interestingly, the SOPR rose as the price fell, indicating that only investors who have made significant profits were selling while the newer investors were waiting. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Let me know your thoughts on his bullish prediction of seeing the upper bound price of $11.5 million per coin. And by what year do you feel this can turn into fruition? Let me know in the comments right down below. So there you have it, my family. Now let's dive into our live Q&A. I'm going to read as many of these comments out loud as I can before we dive into the uncensored version of the show over on Rumble here in a little bit. When the big companies have Bitcoin, they are going to sell in 2025 and drop. Won't be as big as normal, probably. Robert says, imagine a Bitcoin goes to 1 million. What idiot is going to sell theirs for 800,000 or something? You would be surprised. There's a lot of people with a number in their mind already set where, yo, if it hits this number, I'm selling. Trust me, when Bitcoin hits 100,000, there's going to be a certain percentage of people that just offload their Bitcoin and cash out. But guess what? Bitcoin can shoot right on up to 1 million, and then they're going to be ishing their pants like, oh my God, I can't believe I just sold the most valuable asset in human history for only $100,000. There will be a time that comes. Mark my words. You know what I mean? What up, a real gamer? Sell your house and your car and buy Bitcoin. That will go up. Well, Bitcoin will continue to outpace real estate. So I think Sailor makes a good point. But here's the key. Never borrow money if you can't afford to pay it back, because that can put you in a very precarious financial situation. So, you know what I mean? For real, for real. $1 per Satoshi sounds reasonable to me. So when I got into Bitcoin, here's my speculative attack. I borrowed as much money as I could from Wells Fargo Bank, and I purchased as much Bitcoin as I can with money they allowed me to borrow. I was new to Bitcoin. I didn't really understand much about it. I just knew it was a currency the government didn't like, and I was all in on it. So I borrowed all the money I could from the bank. I bought Bitcoin, and it paid off. You know what I mean? And I'm very grateful I did that, because that was back when I first discovered Bitcoin. It was roughly $1,500 per coin back in 2017, the year after the halving of 2016. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you get an opportunity to use OPM, other people's money, why not? You know what I mean? That's exactly what Sailor is doing. And Sailor, I even recall in an interview, said he borrowed like $1 billion at virtually 0% interest and just purchased all the Bitcoin he could. And I don't think he'll ever stop, because it's a genius move. Never sell. There's power in ownership. Amen. We're talking about digital real estate here, family. Why would you sell? It's like owning Manhattan real estate back in the 1800s. That's where we're at with Bitcoin. It's like owning a piece of the freaking internet. Why would you sell that? You know what I mean? Don't have enough Bitcoin to retire, but enough to sell. We'll invest in property when the time comes, says Hackstack. When do we have to go to the party? Do you announce the location? Make sure you join our Discord. I have a chat in there called 100K Fiesta, specifically for the party. And here's what I'm thinking. As we get closer and closer to the all-time high of 69,000, we'll have more and more plans of location, dates, and stuff like that. Right now, it's all in the air, and it's up for discussion, so we can mastermind it together in the Discord. So make sure you join our Discord. Emilio, appreciate that, super family. You the man. Much love, Mr. Gonzalez. Bitcoin is digital property, not currency. There you go, Eric. I never get tired of the story, JV, and that I love Wells Fargo icing on the cake, because I hate banks. I don't hate many things in life, but I despise the banking cartels and banking institutions. So having an opportunity to borrow fiat from them and buy Bitcoin was like the biggest FU to the banks. And it made me feel really good. And I still feel really good about that move. And if banks want to give me more money, I will take their fiat and I will buy more Bitcoin with it. I will pull a Michael Saylor. You know, granted, they're going to give me more money. Bitcoin is a bone from Nipsey. There you go. Thanks again, Emilio. You're the man. Like button smash. Thank you, Yaheem Stone. Have you ever sold any Bitcoin since 2017? Yeah, the truth is I purchased my house with Bitcoin. I got a Bitcoin backed loan and I had to pay off that loan. And I had to tap into some of my Bitcoin to do that before the market crashed and I got a margin call, which would have liquidated all my collateral. So I was kind of forced to, but in the end, I'm glad I owned the house. So it worked out in the end. Yeah. 1 hour in, let's go. I appreciate the support, family. We're actually an hour and 23 minutes in and we just getting started. You know, we're going to have an after party on today's show, right? Exclusively on Rumble. So as soon as the stream ends on YouTube, you're going to head on over to Rumble and we're going to have the uncensored version of the show. We're going to be doing a JV React session. We're going to be playing some clips and reacting to them. I got a brand new clip from Natalie Brunell from the Coin Stories pod. She was just interviewed on TV. And I have another lady who was just on the mainstream talking about Bitcoin hitting $1 million and captivated my interest. So I know it'll captivate your interest as well. You know what I mean? Bitcoin because F the banks. Amen. I hate banks. I hate walking into the bank. I hate the smell of the bank. Anything. I hate banks. ETF the bank. There you go. Let's go, Brandon. Joseph. Yeah. No. You talking about 10K God candle? Yes. 10K Bitcoin? Oh, hell no. I think Willy Woo is right. I don't think we ever drop below 30,000 ever again. So sayonara, 30,000, never happening ever again. You know what I mean? What do you guys think? When the traders have a short squeeze, they'll sell anything. That is handy, says Joseph. Word up. And yes, make sure you're following me on X. I'm very active over there. Natalie is the hottest chica in crypto, says Crypto Gator. How many of you agree with that? Let me know. I'm a fan of her work personally. I think she has an awesome podcast and I love it when she's out there preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi. She does a fantastic job. Definitely one of my faves. Break the bank. Yeah, there you go. My Android phone doesn't have Rumble. What's the solution? You just download the Rumble app. You should be able to download it regardless what kind of phone you have. Just go to the App Store. You know what I mean? Should be there. 15,000 was a nice buy. And if the App Store, for some reason, you really can't, just go to like whatever browser you use and just type in rumble.com. You can still go anywhere you can search in your browser. You'll be able to find it. JB says, Natalie is smart and pretty. Way to go, sister. There you go. Plug into the Discord. The Discord link is on the screen. Definitely be sure to support us on Discord. We appreciate it. Highly doubt we'll ever see 30,000 again. I agree with that sentiment, Yahim. I agree with that asset assessment of Natalie. Right on, family. Appreciate the feedback, Robert. Rumble in the Bronx. Oh, snap. Jackie, Bitcoin Chan. That was actually a lit film. I think that was one of his first mainstream films in America that I can recall. I've been a Jackie Chan fan since I was a little boy. You know what I mean? Watching his old school films like the original Drunken Master. How many of you know about that? Drunken Master, one of the greatest kung fu flicks of all time. Jackie Chan's a young man in that film, probably 18 years old or something like that. And the training in it is just next level. Then eventually they launched Drunken Master 2, another one of my faves. Yeah, Jackie Chan is the man. Definitely one of my faves of all time. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, the dynamic duo. And of course, the legend, Bruce Lee himself. Rest in peace, Lee Ju-fan. Lynn Alden's pretty hot too, says Raven. You guys are making jokes. That's not nice. A shout out Lynn Alden. I respect and like her work. I think she's great. You know, never say never. No 30,000 ever again. Then after the ETF, love Drunken Master. There you go. I'm not alone. Someone else knows Drunken Master. Greatest film of all time. So inspiring. I remember him doing the push-ups on the wrists. I still do those today to strengthen my wrists. So many training sequences I learned from that film that I incorporate into my daily life. Being a martial artist, you know what I mean? Yeah, I used to rent it from the local gas station. Oh, snap. Yeah, it's one of the best movies ever. Bitcoin to live to Bitcoin. Right on. Pirate, Black, Lung, welcome. Oh, Angbach. Oh, my God. Yeah, that was lit. And yeah, that was next level as well. Huge fan here. Tony Jaz, awesome. Amen, BS. I'm a big fan of all the martial arts films, including all the Shaw Brother films of the 70s. You know, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, Shaolin Master Killer, all the films that the Wu-Tang Clan, RZA was sampling in his music. I was watching those films. You know what I mean? That's where they got their names from, like the Ghostface Killer. That was a flick, Shaw Brothers film. That's where, what's his name? Master Killer got his name. You know what I mean? Master Killer is one of the 9 from the original Wu-Tang. Shaolin Master Killer, probably one of my favorite. Shaolin Master Killer, Shaolin and Wu-Tang, and Drunken Master. Those may be my 3 favorite, but I can't forget 5 Deadly Venoms. Oh my God. There's so many good ones. Possible 30,000 when it goes searching for stop losses. I would drink Cathie Wood's bathwater. Are you for real, Keith? That's kind of gross. Remember all the fluoride sitting in that water? But I guess maybe Cathie purifies that water for you. To each their own. The One, yeah, Jet Li. I know all about that. Who remembers Rumble in the Bronx? Right here, family. Can't forget that one. Shout out Stephanie Gracie. I appreciate you, fam. Legend, Fist of Legend. Oh my God. That was like the Bruce Lee version of Fist of Fury, where Jet Li just slaughters everybody in those dojos. That is excellent because that was like a newer made film where like it's next level. It's not like super old school. So that's a good one. Fist of Legend is definitely one of my favorite Jet Li flicks, 100%. Jet Li remake was dope. Exactly. They remade Fist of Fury with Bruce Lee. Chuck Norris mines Bitcoin with pen and paper. You guys are awesome. Dutch Master. Hey, pass me the Dutch. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Rest in peace, ODB, 100%. The Old Dirty. I love Old Dirty. 5 Fists of Death. 5 Fingers of Death. I'm a germaphobe, so I thought of drinking my own bathwater is a bridge too far. Yuck. But to each their own. There you go. Back in the 80s. Right on. Cathie Wood. Nope. Well, is there any woman you would drink the bathwater from? I sure as hell wouldn't. Unless it's like purified water and I'm really in love with the woman. Maybe then. Maybe. The Matrix series has some epic battle scenes for sure. Matrix is classic. I also love the film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I was a big fan of that when I was a teenager. It was one of my favorite films. Lee Mubai. It was the legend of Lee Mubai. And remember the sword, the Green Destiny. And of course, you got a lot of legends in that film as well. Best Bitcoin podcast ever. We cover everything. Yes, including martial arts films. You guys are awesome. But anyways, family, I could sit here all night and chat it up with you guys, but we still got to do our uncensored version of the show over on Rumble. So if you're tuned in on YouTube right now, I encourage you, head on over to Rumble. The stream is already live. We stream simultaneous on both platforms each and every day. And what we do is when the YouTube stream ends, we continue with the uncensored version of the show over on Rumble. And that's important because I can speak censorship free, right? Because I could exercise my First Amendment right of free speech on Rumble, where I got to be very selective and careful of some of the things I talk about here on YouTube. So head on over to Rumble right now and let's continue with the after party, Crypto News Alerts, basically live and uncensored. And I look forward to seeing you there. We'll also be back this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern for the edited version of today's live, where we remove all the Q&A and it's just like pure content back to back to back for the people not interested really in the Q&A. But we can still have our live chat session, of course, in the chat. So it'll be pretty lit. I look forward to seeing you there. Also, one more announcement before we head to Rumble. Tomorrow, my routine and schedule is going to change again. So we're going to be going live earlier than usual. So it's not going to be 3 p.m. I don't know the exact time. It may be like 1 p.m. It may be 12 p.m. But it's definitely going to be a little earlier than we're streaming today. So please keep that in mind. And I greatly appreciate y'all. Head on over to Rumble and let's get this mofo lit with the uncensored version of the show. Deuces.